Many now expect the company to take the next step and go public sometime next year. Joining us from San Francisco is John Elvekrog, CEO and co-founder of 140 Proof, the leading social media advertising company. John, good to see you, and I do appreciate you joining us because what is it, 2 o'clock in the morning or something there? So I don't know whether you've gone to bed or you just got up, but anyway, thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, we're still going. Some of my guys are still coding as we speak.
Okay, good. I like that. I like people working through the night. John, look, how crucial, how hard is it going to be for Twitter to get this IPO right? And you know, where are the risks for them and the opportunities?
Yeah, I think the Twitter IPO is going to be huge. I think throw out everything you think about out the window. It is going to be a blowout event for Twitter. I think there's obviously a huge precedent set with Facebook and their IPO that happened a year ago and them getting back to the $38 IPO price. But I think Twitter's in a very different both trajectory as a company, although they are at the same age, 7 years old when they're IPOing. I think both their growth trajectory and also their revenue trajectory is going to put them in a much better position.
Yeah, let's just talk about the revenue side and how advertisers are now trying to engage with. You know, for a long time we thought, how does Twitter monetize itself, right? How do you commercialize it? How are advertisers now engaging on Twitter, and how are the people who use Twitter reacting to things like promoted tweets and advertising, or people that are pushing you to product?
I think overall it's been pretty positive. They've taken a lot of time to sort of get to this point from an advertising perspective, and I think they've done the right things and considered the user experience and how users will react. And I think that on the other side of the equation, from an advertiser perspective, something that's hugely different is big brands have always been a part of Twitter from the earliest days, and I think brands have a huge appetite to be in social, to be in Facebook, to be in Twitter, to be on Pinterest. And so I think with that much attention and that much attraction, they're going to get a lot of revenue growth and a lot of traction. And I think they're predicting to do $1 billion in revenue next year in 2014. So I think it's a pretty good trajectory for them. And I think certainly from our business, we see a lot of demand from brands in the advertising world. So I think they have the code picked out. If there's one thing that I would, for both Facebook and Twitter, that I would sort of look towards, is if there's an advertising solution that they can call their own, something that's unique to either a Twitter or a Facebook, in the same way that Google had their paid search keyword solution. I think that might be one of the indicators who gets there first, but certainly a lot of great traction today.
I mean, there is. Look, it used to be just, you know, traffic, clicks. You know, there used to be a sort of formulaic approach to how you valued advertising on the internet. With social, presumably, are we moving to a sort of the next generation of advertising where actually it's about engagement and with people and brands. So how do you do that without actually damaging the brand if you're being overtly commercial in a social environment?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think one of the pieces is that the ads, unlike they've ever been in the past, are interactive. So you can retweet them, you can engage with them, you can like them, you can pin them. You know, standard banner ad, you have none of that interaction. And so from a social perspective, that's a whole new opportunity that's an advantage for advertisers. And I think the other piece of that is that, you know, Twitter in particular has sort of blurred the lines between marketing and customer support and advertising. So an interaction that might start out as a customer support activity might turn into an actual sale on Twitter because it merges all those different functions together into one sort of mishmash. So I think that's the challenge for most marketers. I think from an advertising perspective, that engagement or the ability to retweet is just a bonus and a real positive for the brand. But that sort of keeping it all together and meshing the different disciplines at a company, I think will be a challenge.
All right, John, good to see you this morning, or good night to you, I don't know. Thanks very much. John Elvekrog, CEO at 140 Proof, joining us from LA. Don't forget, of course, we did float at the Twitter